everybody, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Katie and this is Rouse Rising. Today I am coming at you with a 33-week pregnancy update and I'm gonna give you all the details. So today I just want to give you my 33-week pregnancy update. This last week was a little crazy. I had one scare earlier in the week and I will get to that and share with you exactly what that was. But mostly what I've been focusing on for the last 2 weeks since my last pregnancy update is trying to get this baby in optimal position. My babies tend to prefer to be in breech or transverse presentation up until usually a week or two before I go into labor. My last pregnancy, my daughter was transverse. Her head was over here on the right side, her bum was over there, and her feet, she was like on her back. But thankfully I didn't go into labor until 43 weeks. So at 42 weeks, she was still transverse, but I was able to do all of my exercises and maneuver her head down. So and I do this in every pregnancy, I start my exercises early, my stretches early. I like to use the spinning babies exercises and stretches, inversions, side lying release, things of that nature, so that I can open up my pelvis and stretch those round ligaments there where I do have a little bit of twisted hips. I go to the chiropractor every other week right now, and I'm always getting adjusted for that. But my body just pulls everything back out of whack. I also have herniated discs in my labrum, and that presents a little bit of issues, but so far I've been feeling really great physically. But my focus has been to try to get this baby to go head down. So I have a midwife appointment in 2 days, and I'll have the midwives double check and see where baby's at that point. So baby likes to keep its head up in the right side of my rib cage or right below it, and some days that can be really uncomfortable, and I've been having some runner's type cramps on my right side for the past couple, I guess for the past week or so. I've had like this muscle cramp, like when you go running and you get that side stitch when you're not used to running. I have like that side stitch pain in my side. Some days it gets really bad. So I'll just wrap my belly for support and try to bring everything back in. But I want to be able to give the baby enough room to go head down or to get in its optimal position. I'm curious to have a midwife's check. My babies just move. They seem to have a lot of room and a lot of flexibility within my abdomen to just move a lot. And something as simple as driving into town will bump my babies into a wonky position. It's really, with my very first baby, we had a Jeep and we lived in England, and we went on a bumpy Jeep ride and baby flipped breech, and my midwife said, no more bumpy Jeep rides. Those are off limits. We got to get your baby head down and keep head down. And he went head down, I think around 40 weeks, and then he was born at 42 weeks. He was born sunny side up with his face came out like looking up. I was on my back when I gave birth to him because of his position that he came out in. My chosen position to give birth is on all fours, but with him I was reluctant to do it, but my midwife had me get on the sofa with my feet up to the ceiling. Eventually he came out. We just had to get him underneath the brim because he was just stuck high up for so long in that 27-hour labor. So since my first baby was such a challenge, and I did manage to have a birth at home with him, but just his positioning and everything about his birth was so exhausting. We did so many things to try to get him to come down, to help me dilate, to help get him out. Even when I got close to pushing and I was in transition, he was still pretty high up. So yeah, then he came out looking up at his father. His daddy caught him. So since then, every single pregnancy, I have gone above and beyond every measure that I can source, from moxibustion to acupuncture, acupressure, and chiropractic care, physical therapy. I have every pregnancy, I'm doing all of those things to try to help my baby have room in my pelvis to go head down and to stay head down. That would be such a godsend for that to happen. I haven't had a breech baby yet, so everything works by the time birth happens. I just want to encourage anybody who might have a breech baby at 33 weeks, at 33 weeks, that your baby can flip, and your baby can even flip in early labor. So I would always opt for a trial of labor, wait for labor to occur naturally, have a trial of labor, and if your baby is not flipping, then you can go and have a C-section if that is what you choose. There are a lot of breech birth care providers all across the country. There are knowledgeable midwives and some knowledgeable OBs that will deliver a breech baby, that do have the knowledge of how to have a hands-off delivery of a breech baby. So there are resources for that. There's the Coalition for Breech Birth. And then there's some other resources. If you need that stuff, I will link it down below. But there are options, and there are people that will help you find a care provider in your area, or maybe you have to travel a few hours, but there are care providers that will deliver breech babies. However, if none of that is an option for you and you want to birth in the hospital, you want a chance to have a vaginal birth, that you can say that you want a trial of labor. And you can tell your doctors that, even if they're recommending a C-section, you can say, well, I choose to have a trial of labor. If baby doesn't flip, then I will have the C-section then, but I don't want to schedule it. I want to allow my body to do the work to have this baby naturally. And I want to take every chance and opportunity to do that. Something that I learned very early on with regards to my health care was just to take charge of my health care, to be informed, to make sure that I have all the information that I can before I make a choice about something. So I've been prepared through all my pregnancies for difficult choices, and every single pregnancy there's been a choice that I've faced, that I've had to make. Thus brings me to this baby and it being in a wonky position, and what I am doing to prepare myself for the birth of this baby. So I actually had a bout of contractions last week, and they lasted for about 2 hours, and I'm going to show you right now on the screen. It was really scary for me because they were painful, but they were only painful down low. I could feel them pulling. They weren't producing anything, so I don't think I was dilating. I didn't have any blood or bloody show or anything weird like that. I just had very consistent contractions for 2 hours. It was probably more than 2 hours when they finally started to settle down and space out, but it was really scary. I sat by myself and with my timer, and I was like, okay, I gotta see like what's going on. Why is this happening? I had already had a magnesium bath that day. I had taken some MagCalm to try to calm everything down, but I'm not sure if it was baby's position or baby trying to reposition. But I had every 2 to 5 minutes. I think at the end they started to space out to like 5 and 7 minutes, but for about an hour or so, they were every 2 to 3 minutes, lasting a minute long, and I was tripping. I definitely thought that I was going to go into early preterm labor, which has never happened. Never happened. But fifth baby, there's always a chance for a wild card. And so that was kind of a lesson learned for me. I need to get a bag sorted, or I need to have something set aside so that if I encounter a situation, and I do this every pregnancy, I'm like, I need to have like birth stuff ready, or a hospital bag ready, just in case. I don't ever actually get around to packing the hospital bag. However, I do carry in my car if I'm going to be more than an hour away from the house, or if I'm going to be gone for a while, I do carry in my car a birth kit, because I had one baby that came in an hour and 20 minutes. And so I'm like, I could have a baby anywhere at any time. So let me make sure I have blankets and clamps and scissors. And anyways, I'll carry around a box with me of birth supplies in case I have another precipitous birth, because that would be crazy. Gosh, I really got off on a tangent on this video. So let me get back to my 33-week update. And I took some notes because I just want to be clear-headed when I'm talking about this with all of you guys. And so I wanted to be sure that I touched on everything that I wanted to talk about this week. So the first thing I talked about was breech positioning and using spinning babies. You can go to their website and get the exercises from there if you need to help encourage your baby to go head down. I'm doing inversions and side lying release, as well as just other general stretches. Yoga is really good, chiropractic care, that kind of thing. So I'm also experiencing terrible reflux, especially at night when I lay down. It's awful, awful. But I am taking this papaya enzyme, and this one has chlorophyll with it, is the after meal supplement. And I'm taking this. It helps quite a bit. So the reflux this time around is so real. I am eating smaller meals, because every time I eat or drink water, I'm just like, everything is boiling up and trying to come up, and it's terrible. So that's why I have been taking papaya enzymes, usually at least once a day, sometimes more than once a day. It seems like the last week it's been 2-3 times a day I've popped one of these. But these are actually tasty. I guess they're like Tums. You're supposed to take 3 tablets. I usually will take 2 tablets. 2 tablets works for me. So take less than the recommended amount. Cravings. So the only real cravings that I've had, and I think that I managed to not have cravings because my diet is so diverse, and because I'm meeting all of my nutritional needs either through supplementation or through my diet. And if you want to see kind of like what I eat throughout the week, then you can check out my very last my last video, and that was like what we eat in a week, or what I eat 3rd trimester pregnancy. Check that out. I will link it above, and that just kind of shows you all the nutrient dense things that I try to incorporate into my diet so that I am nutritionally fulfilled. And then also I do supplement. We do live in the Northwest, and we do have to take vitamin D, so I take a vitamin D3 and K2 supplement. This is by Thorne, and both the kids and I, my husband, we all take vitamin D3 and K2 throughout the winter, and it helps boost our immune system. It helps keep us healthy. And then another thing that we're taking right now to help keep us healthy is in the fall, winter, spring, we do include zinc. So I am taking zinc right now. And also, because we are in COVID pandemic, the zinc is supposed to help, you know, boost your immune system, all of your cells function and everything. I am still taking my Glow prenatal vitamins from All Natural. I can link the information for this down below, but if you use RAW10, you do get a discount from Au Natural supplements, and I am taking their prenatal vitamins and their prenatal probiotics. And so to that, I have included some super omega-3s, and then I'm also taking vitamin C gummies, which are out in the medicine cabinet, but I'm taking vitamin C gummies. I'm trying to drink a smoothie with vitamin C rich fruits in it every single day, and then I'm also taking Mag Calm, and this is to help prevent the restless legs and the insomnia that I have been experiencing, and I feel like this has really helped with those things. In addition, at least once a week, I am taking an Epsom salt bath, and typically on Saturdays when my husband is off from work. So in my last update, I think I told you guys that he was 1 week on, 1 week off, but now starting this week, he is back to work full time. And so I don't have as much help as I've had over the holiday season, but it's not going to be too many more weeks before he's on paternity leave. So he'll be right back around soon. You guys are hearing my kids out there. I apologize for that. It's a 2,000 square foot house, I think, or almost, and it's very noisy. We're all on one single level, and yeah, that's the main living area outside of our master bedroom. So sometimes when I'm doing these videos, you guys are going to hear those kids screaming back there. Okay, so I went over my supplements that I'm taking. I'm also experiencing some pubis symphysis dysfunction, and it's mild right now. I'm thinking it could very well get worse, but right now I have been able to manage it by staying symmetrical, sleeping with a pillow between my legs at night, rolling over. I'm sleeping on both my right side and my left side because my hips start to hurt really bad at night, and so it's like every 30 minutes or so I'm flipping sides with the pillow between my legs, and that has seemed to help the pubis symphysis a whole lot. In addition to going to the chiropractor for that, and I'm doing an exercise where I use one of my children's toys. I use a ball, like a small ball about this size that has a little bit of squish to it, and I sit on the sofa next to the arm of the sofa, and I put the ball between like my knee or my thigh and the side of the sofa, and I'm just pushing into the sofa with that knee or thigh, and then I go to the other side of the sofa and I do the same exercise, and that seems to have helped. I'm not sure if it's supposed to like strengthen different muscles in your pelvic region, but it's something my chiropractor recommended, so I've been doing it and it's been working or helping, maybe, or maybe all the things combined that I'm doing are lessening the pubic symphysis dysfunction. But right now it's not severe. It's only severe if I get careless with how I carry myself and if I lose some symmetry in how I'm sitting or how I'm laying. So those things are very important to be sure that I'm keeping my body aligned so that my pubis symphysis dysfunction doesn't get out of control like it has in previous pregnancies. A lot of times that is what causes the pregnancy waddle. I try not to be lazy when I walk, and the pregnancy waddle, I try to, like, you know, hold myself really upright back and walk normal, because if I waddle, then that is gonna put some added pressure on my pubis symphysis and cause more pain and dysfunction. So I really try to walk proper and upright and not give in to the waddling. I try to be self-aware of that, because I find that when I start to waddle or stand on one leg more than the other, that kind of thing, if my weight's not distributed evenly, then that can tend to make the pubis symphysis worse. Let's talk about weight gain. So the baby is about 4.5 pounds. It's roughly the size of a pineapple at this stage in my body, and I have managed to gain the most that I have out of every pregnancy, and I've gained 30 pounds. So my pre-pregnancy weight was 127 pounds. I am 5'7", so I'm just long and lean like that, and now I am 157 pounds, and I still have a while to go. I could have a baby in 4 weeks. I could have a baby in 10 weeks. So if I'm pregnant for 10 more weeks, then I imagine I'm going to be well over 160, which I have never been 160 before in my life. So very possible I'm going to be in the 160 range by the end of this pregnancy. 160 to 170. If I get to 170, I'm going to try not to, but I guess I've been eating healthy and eating well. In the holidays, we did make lots of baked goods too. So the holidays could have played a major role in this. I made so many cookies, but we did have cookies and pumpkin pies and desserts and things like that sometimes. So I feel like I ate the majority of those when we had those, and that's why I'm probably up as much weight as I am right now. I'm going to talk a little bit about my emotional well-being, kind of what I've been feeling over these last few weeks, and I feel great. I feel mentally really sound. I feel a tad irritable and short-tempered, but I am trying to do more self-care and relaxation and take time to myself when my husband gets home, because I do get a little frazzled homeschooling the 4 kids and everything that goes into that. So I do have my moments. It's been a little bit of a challenge, but I'm not going to put emphasis on me being slightly more testy, because I don't feel like it has interfered with our life that much. I am pretty even keel these days. I try not to get stressed out or worked up or too emotional, but some things that I have been emotional about, where I was a little bit emotional when I was having those contractions, those were really scary. They were stronger than Braxton Hicks, but they weren't like labor contractions. But I think the consistency and how quick they were coming and how intense they were getting was scary for me. So I had a little bit of an emotional thing, but that was just, I was by myself, so it didn't matter. It didn't affect anybody in my family. Other than that, I've been doing really, really great. I'm trying to get rid of fear that I have surrounding pushing a human out of my body. I did watch Annika's birth video recently, and I was like, wow, that was really intense. She was over 9 pounds. And when I was in labor with her, I was squeezing because I didn't want her to come out. I tensed up a whole lot in the pushing phase, and I couldn't seem to relax and let her out. She did come out, and she was a little sticky at the shoulders. It was a little painful, and you can see that in the video. It doesn't last very long because she is able to maneuver because of how I have my legs and the position I'm in. She was able to maneuver relatively easily and come out, but her shoulders were pretty painful coming out. She was a big baby. And so I've never torn or had any kind of like tears that needed medical attention or stitching. So I don't have like trauma, physical trauma from birth, other than, you know, like the swelling and bruising and that kind of thing that kind of comes with pushing a human out of your body. But I just have like fear as far as the intensity, and that I have zero control when labor takes over. And when pushing takes over, there's no controlling that. I have no control. And that is, I think, something I've struggled with in every single pregnancy. It might be a reason why I go over. Maybe I'm mentally blocking it. So I'm just really trying to release fear and welcome. And don't get me wrong, I want labor to start at the end of pregnancy because I'm done being pregnant, right? You know, you're miserable. You want to go into labor, you want to have your baby, but there's still like this block in my head, the fear surrounding the intensity and I'm going to call it intensity, the intensity of birth, because it's one of the most intense things a person naturally goes through. It's pretty phenomenal, and I'm trying to come to terms with that. I've taken a lot of time to read other people's birth stories and watch other people's birth videos. I'm just not sure like why I still have fear. I'm just like, I think every woman goes through that. We have a little bit of fear about pushing a human out. One other thing I just wanted to talk about was our birth plan. So we have a plan to home birth, but part of me still says, well, if I'm in labor and I feel like going to the birth center, let's just go to the birth center because our insurance covers it, right? I have to pay out of pocket for my home birth. Not a problem. Thankfully, we have, with our lifestyle and the way that we've been able to save with my husband's income and the income that I get from YouTube, that we have been able to save enough money to cover an out-of-hospital birth or an out-of-birth center birth. But then, you know, there's always that part of you that says, hey, we could birth at the birth center and save this money for something else, do something else with it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. This is the first time I have ever had to pay for a home birth. All my other births were covered by my insurance, and now my insurance is not going to cover the level of midwife that I have available to me for my care. And there aren't any certified nurse midwives, and I need somebody, if I'm going to have a midwife present at my home birth, I'm going to need somebody that is within 2 hours because my third baby came so quickly. So that's always a possibility. So yeah, we still go back and forth, like, and I'm like, I'm probably not going to decide till I'm in labor, but I do need to have the birth pool here. I think I'm going to rent one from the midwife. So I'll have the birth pool, and then that means I need to order birth supplies. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I've got my list in front of me of all of the birth supplies that I'm gonna need for this, what my midwife recommends for me to have on hand, and what I actually use or have used in previous home births on hand. So let me know down in the comments, are you guys curious of what the home birth kit is gonna look like? I can share that with you guys once I get it all together. And then, because most likely we're gonna birth at home, but there's a possibility that I'm gonna say, I wanna save the money, let's go to the birth clinic and have the insurance pay for it. So it's just, I'm terrible at making choices. So I sit there and I do this number with everything, and I have long, drawn out decision-making processes. And it probably drives people crazy. I know it drives me crazy because I don't have a solid answer until the last minute. And that's okay, because that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because I'm in control of the situation and I have the choice. I'm the one who's able to make that choice. I just don't know what choice to make. And I don't want to be like, we're home birthing. I mean, 98% sure we're home birthing, but maybe I'll feel like going to the birth center. That 2% chance. So, anyways, I think if you guys are interested, comment down below and I will go over my birth kit and what all is required for a home birth. Oh, sorry. One quick thing before I go. I had a person comment that they wanted to know about like embarrassing things that happen in pregnancy, and like what am I going through that maybe I'm being too modest about. And I will say that during this time I have been every morning just like clearing out, and every morning my body says get rid of everything that's in it, and that is one side effect I am having. Just I guess loose bowels in the mornings, and it's probably because I am taking magnesium and vitamin C and zinc and vitamin D and all these different supplements right now. And I'm taking these supplements for a variety of reasons: to prevent illness, to boost my immune system, to prevent GBS, and to prevent leg cramps, to help me sleep, that kind of thing. And I guess the side effect of that is, or maybe it's baby pressing on my intestines, but that I am clearing out. I don't have, this particular commenter asked if I was having like gas or flatulence or any issues like that. No, I'm just having reflux. And then because of my diet, and we don't eat beans or legumes very often at all, I think that is a huge contributing factor to, and I don't eat foods that cause a lot of gas. So no, I haven't had any problems with gas, but I just have had clear outs, and I've eased off the magnesium quite a bit. And I'm still having that issue. So, and I'm not sure if it's an issue or if it's just something that happens at the end of pregnancy, that our bowels just get free. And so, just to keep space for the baby and to that kind of thing, maybe our bowels just loosen up. So, that, and then I feel like maybe my pelvic floor is a little bit weak, so the sneeze pee, I gotta cross my legs when I sneeze, otherwise I pee. If I cough too hard, I might leak a little if I'm not crossing my legs. Like I'd have to just step over, cross my legs, and seal everything off so nothing comes out. But those are really the only TMI things that I can think of right now, other than my chest has exploded. And that's kind of awesome, because previous to getting pregnant, I was still nursing my daughter, but we were like, we weren't weaning because we were still pretty much nursing a lot, but I had deflated quite a bit. And so pregnancy and my diet and gaining all this weight has plumped me up in a few areas. My tush, my chest have gotten a little bit bigger. Everything's gotten a little bit bigger. And yeah, that's about it for TMI stuff. That, and then like the indigestion, discomfort are really the only things that I think would be TMI. Other than that, no, I feel great. I'm not having like weird stuff happen. I mean, that I think is weird. This is my 5th baby, so I'm not sure what kind of details people are looking for, but I feel pretty normal, besides when I'm moving around the house and I'm out of breath and I like bending over is hard, things like that. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up for this amount of time. I have to get back to my family and get back to preparing some food. I'm going to make that sauerkraut. Thank you for listening to me rant about my 33 weeks of pregnancy. This is where I'm at right now. If you have any questions for me, please comment them below. I would love to get a list of questions together to answer for you all. Like I said, this is my 5th baby, so I'm not an amateur and everything to me just seems normal, but maybe to a first-time mom, things pregnancy related aren't normal. So if you have questions or you want maybe to be pointed in a direction about a certain natural or holistic approach to your pregnancy, feel free to comment below and I can direct you to resources for that. And until next time, you guys, be sure to give this video a like, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and stay up to date with all of the things that I'm going to be posting for you all. And I just want to say I appreciate you being here with me today. Thank you so much. And until next time, guys, bye. Here is the belly bump update. This is it. It is really big right now. To the side. I know some people like to see this type of thing. If not, you can get out of here now. Thank you guys for watching. Till next time. Bye.